In the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Myles Garrett.
All right.
Defensive end, Texas A&M.
And when I think of a comparison, to me, Julius Peppers is the one that comes to mind because you're talking about somebody that's explosive and can really bend.
Hit. Garrett notched 2 sacks in his NFL debut, announcing his presence as a pass-rushing force to be reckoned with.
There he is! First play, first sack!
Since then, he's been one of the league's top sack masters and proving himself more than worthy of having been the top pick.
With the second pick, the Chicago Bears select Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback, North Carolina.
Hello! Look at the reaction in Chicago. Wow. They thought they were getting a defensive player. Could you imagine? This could be the video they play for years and years if Trubisky finally does deliver a championship back to Chicago.
Miss. Bears fans are a notoriously fatalistic bunch, but even at the time, trading up for the uncertain Trubisky seemed like a questionable move.
Intercepted in the deep middle.
Losing his starting job to journeyman Nick Foles only makes it sting that much more, considering Chicago didn't take a shot at one of the other quarterbacks that would go later in this first round.
With the third pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Solomon Thomas, defensive end, Stanford.
Because day one, right now, he's rushing the passer from a 4 or 3 technique, and he's as good as anybody in this draft, and he'll be one of the best ones in the NFL in short order.
Miss. General Manager John Lynch's first big move seemed like a stroke of genius, adding draft picks while still getting their guy at number 3.
3rd overall draft pick. And he's an outstanding football player, but he's been the ultimate tweener.
Too bad Thomas tallied just 6 total sacks in 3+ seasons before missing most of 2020 with a torn ACL.
With the fourth pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Leonard Fournette, running back, LSU.
If you want to describe a style of a runner, I wrote he's thirsty for contact. I mean, this guy, he's a hunter with the ball in his hands.
He's the most angry running back I've seen since Adrian Peterson.
Meh. In some ways, you could say Fournette was a hit, just not with the Jaguars.
Woo! There you go, Leonard! Touchdown! Playoff Liddy! Playoff Liddy!
After 3 tumultuous seasons in Jacksonville, Fournette migrated south to Tampa and played a key role in the Bucs' run to a Super Bowl championship.
Leonard Fournette takes it to the house.
With the 5th pick, the Tennessee Titans select Corey Davis, wide receiver, Western Michigan.
He is a true playmaker, and I see 10+ years of great play by Corey Davis.
Meh. It took until 2020, but Davis finally had his breakout season with the Titans.
TD for CD, Corey Davis.
Even then, that breakout season still resulted in just 65 catches and fewer than 1,000 yards. In the meantime, second-year receiver A.J. Brown has already surpassed him as Tennessee's dominant pass catcher.
With the 6th pick, the New York Jets select Jamal Adams, defensive back, LSU.
I think this is the second best football player in the draft. I thought the Jets, when they got Leonard Williams, who fell in their lap, was a great pick, and I think they just got the second best player of the draft right here, Mike.
Hit. Adams' turbulent departure from Broadway won't earn him any curtain calls in New York, but he had a couple of nice seasons with the Jets, notably 2018 and 2019 when he showed he could rush the passer as well as cover opposing receivers.
It's picked off. They're going to come the other way, and this is Jamal Adams.
Statistically, Adams did big things with the Seahawks in 2020, though injuries conspired to limit him to a pedestrian at best overall performance.
With the 7th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Mike Williams, wide receiver, Clemson.
I love it. And when you look for a comparison for Mike Williams, I go to Dallas Cowboys and I go with Dez Bryant because you're talking about guys in the red zone, they can dominate.
Meh. Just one season with 1,000 receiving yards and no seasons with at least 50 catches is probably not what the Chargers were hoping for when they spent the 7th overall pick on the big Clemson standout.
Mike Williams, touchdown Chargers.
But for what it's worth, he's on pace to be the NFL's best receiver named Mike Williams.
With the 8th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Christian McCaffrey, running back.
It's okay. Running back, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him. The thing when you get with Christian now, you're getting a starter at running back, You're going to get a guy that can start as a slot receiver. He can start as an outside receiver. Oh, by the way, he's going to be starting your kickoff returns and your punt returns. This guy's a special guy that can affect the game in so many different ways.
Hit. In 2018, McCaffrey set the NFL single-season record for receptions by a running back. He broke that record in 2019 while finishing just shy of 2,400 scrimmage yards and scoring 19 total touchdowns.
Oh my God!
Even an injury-plagued 2020 season hasn't taken him from the top of most fantasy football draft boards. You know, if you're into that sort of thing.
You ain't catching him! Goodbye! Goodbye!
The Cincinnati Bengals select John Ross, wide receiver, Washington.
Quick and explosive. Questions about medical. He's had shoulder injuries and knee injuries. Some teams have taken him off the board entirely.
Miss. Injuries have been the story of Ross's career, beginning with pulling up lame after running the 40-yard dash at the Combine. Since then, the speedy receiver has appeared in just 27 of a possible 64 games through his first 4 seasons with a single-season career high of 506 receiving yards.
With the 10th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback.
With Pat Mahomes, I've said through this whole process, he lives outside the structure of the offense. And the only guy I've seen have long-term success living on that edge is a guy number 4 that played for Green Bay. And where did John Dorsey come from, and who did Andy Reid coach?
Hit. Look away, Bears fans. In his first season as a full-time starter, all Mahomes did was throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Firing down the seam, Tyreek Hill, 10-5, touchdown!
In the 2 years since, he's led the Chiefs to a pair of AFC championships and a Super Bowl title while taking home Super Bowl and NFL MVP honors.
With the 11th pick, the New Orleans select Marshon Lattimore, defensive back, Ohio State.
Well, I'm amazed that he fell to 11. I think he can be a key to lead a couple years down the road.
That's some very high praise.
Hit. After locking up Defensive Rookie of the Year honors in 2017, Lattimore's had a tough time recapturing the Magic.
Picked off! That's not what they were looking for. Marshon Lattimore, touchdown.
2020 might have been his worst professional season, but overall, he's been a nice addition to the Saints secondary.
With the 12th pick, the Houston Texans select Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Clemson.
That's a heck of a young division with Bortles and Watson and Luck and Mariota in the AFC South.
Hit. Recent drama in Houston notwithstanding, Watson has been one of the league's top signal callers from the moment he took over the starting job.
He's scrambling, and he's hit as he throws downfield. Got him, man!
He doesn't have Patrick Mahomes' video game numbers, but that's what happens when you're constantly running for your life behind a questionable offensive line.
The Arizona Cardinals select Haason Reddick, linebacker, Temple.
This kid's got everything as far as explosive, combustible combine numbers. He's got toughness, he's got edge. Arizona's going to love him.
Meh. It wasn't a great start to Reddick's career, playing an inconsistent number of snaps and offering spotty production. But playing in a prove-it year in 2020, Reddick showed the Redbirds why he was worth a first-round pick, notching a career-best 12.5 sacks, including 5 in one game.
That boy Reddick wildin', cuz.
Man, Haason Reddick has owned the New York Giants here today.
Now, can he back it up?
The Philadelphia Eagles select Derek Barnett, defensive end, Tennessee.
People either loved him or they didn't like him because he didn't have explosive measurables in the combine, but I think his tape is too good, and I think the city of Philadelphia is going to love him.
Meh perfectly sums up Barnett's time in the NFL so far. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great either.
As the Eagles defense pitting their ears back, Derek Barnett.
Regardless, he'll always have his game-clinching fumble recovery in Super Bowl 52.
With the 15th pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Malik Hooker, defensive back, Ohio State.
My biggest concern is not just the injuries, but the inconsistent tackling.
Meh. Hooker has played reasonably well for the Colts when he's been available.
What a pick by number 29.
That last part has been the issue. The former Ohio State standout missed 9 games in 2017 with a knee injury and sat out all but 2 games in 2020 after tearing his Achilles.
With the 16th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Marlon Humphrey, defensive back from Alabama.
They just got better in the secondary, so I just see good things for their defense.
Hit. Humphrey became a full-time starter at the beginning of the 2019 season, has been one of the top cover corners in the NFL ever since.
And the pass is picked off, intercepted by Marlon Humphrey.
In 2020, he turned things up a notch by forcing a league-leading 8 fumbles on the way to being named to his 2nd consecutive Pro Bowl.
With the 17th pick, the Washington Redskins select Jonathan Allen, defensive end, Alabama.
I think he's a game changer. I think Washington got a steal. My hat's off to the kid. I feel bad for him having to wait that long.
Hit. It's easy to get overshadowed when you're playing on the same defensive line as Montez Sweat and reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year Chase Young, but Allen has shown steady improvement and been one of Washington's leading tacklers over the past 3 seasons.
And he is sacked by Jonathan Allen.
With the 18th pick, the Tennessee Titans select Adoree Jackson, defensive back, USC.
I mean, kid had 9 return touchdowns in college.
Electric.
Miss. Jackson has never fully lived up to the expectations for him coming out of USC. He spent his first 2 seasons primarily as a punt returner. His last 2 seasons have been marred by injury, playing 14 of a possible 32 games, including just 3 in 2020. Along the way, he snagged just 2 interceptions. Not what you want from a first-round corner.
With the 19th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select O.J. Howard.
There you go.
Tight end, Alabama.
I love the pick. I love the player. Tampa Bay just got better.
I agree with you on the comp there, Mike. We've talked about it the whole time. Yeah. Greg Olsen, I think, is a great comparison.
Miss. Despite a reputation as a big play option in college at Alabama, Howard has never been able to separate himself from the tight end pack in Tampa. Between battling Cameron Braid for targets and dealing with injuries, Howard's best professional catch might still be a foul ball at a Tampa Bay Rays game.
The Denver Broncos select Garett Bolles, tackle, Utah.
The job at offensive tackle in the NFL is to block freaks. It is your job to keep your quarterback clean by blocking freak shows. And this guy is a freak athlete. He is long, he's athletic, he's fast, he's explosive. And what I love about him probably most is he is nasty.
Meh. Talent has never been the problem for Bolles, but the biggest red flag at the start of his NFL career was a host of yellow flags. In 2020, it appears Bolles cleaned up the holding issues and was one of the league's best left tackles. If he's truly turned over a new leaf, the Broncos could have their O-line anchored.
With the 21st pick, the Detroit Lions select Jarrad Davis, linebacker, Florida.
He's a tough kid. He's today's NFL inside linebacker. I mean, he's going to be a 3-down player for them, and that's an excellent pick.
Miss. Early on, it looked like the Lions had a budding star. In his 2nd season, he led the team with 100 tackles.
And there is Davis. Well, it's hard to blame that one on the offensive line.
Turned out to be the high water mark. The last 2 campaigns have seen a decline in play, leading to a career-low 25 tackles in 2020 on the way to losing his starting gig.
With the 22nd pick, the Miami Dolphins select Charles Harris, defensive end, Missouri.
This young man is adept as a pass rusher. Somebody's taught him real well at Missouri.
Miss. Harris never offered any production for the Dolphins, starting just 8 games in 3 seasons with Miami. Before the 2020 campaign, the Finns shipped the linebacker to Atlanta for a 7th-round pick. Things didn't get any better there, with Harris unable to get on the field for the underperforming Falcons defense.
With the 23rd pick, the New York Giants select Evan Engram, tight end, Ole Miss.
He's a matchup nightmare. I don't care what you call him. Forget the label. He can block on the perimeter. He'll be an immediate impact player.
Meh. This is one of those times when fantasy football and real football intersect. Engram set the bar with an excellent rookie season and has been chasing that high ever since.
Going to the end zone for the touchdown, Evan Engram.
Entering the final year of his contract, is Engram capable of making the leap, or has he hit a ceiling? We'll find out.
With the 24th pick, the Oakland Raiders select Gareon Conley, defensive back, Ohio State.
Miss. Conley never made a real impact for the Silver and Black. A shin injury kept him out for nearly his entire rookie season. He rebounded in his second year.
And it's intercepted. Gareon Conley picks it off.
But it wasn't enough to prevent the Raiders from trading him to Houston in 2019. After missing all of 2020 following ankle surgery, Conley is at a career crossroads.
With the 25th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Jabrill Peppers, defensive back, Michigan.
One of my favorite players in this draft. The question is ball skills and ball production. I kind of say forget about all that. Have a plan for this kid.
Hit. Peppers has been steady, if not spectacular, in his 4 NFL seasons, beginning with a stint in Cleveland.
First career interception for the rookie out of Michigan, Jabrill Peppers.
After being part of the trade that sent Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns, Peppers became a key piece of a Giants defense that was a top 10 unit in 2020.
The Atlanta Falcons select Takkarist McKinley, linebacker, UCLA.
I love his motor, I love his toughness, and now you pair him with Vic Beasley in sub packages. Watch out.
Nah. It took time for McKinley to become a consistent starter in Atlanta.
He'll be sacked, and that's McKinley.
And just when it seemed like he was becoming a playmaker, it all fell apart. Midway through 2020, the Falcons cut ties with McKinley, and he bounced around before landing on the Raiders practice squad.
With the 27th pick, the Buffalo Bills select Tre'Davious White, defensive back, LSU.
Yeah, I think he's not flashy, he's not sexy. I think he's one of the most solid cornerbacks in this draft, though. The guy plays inside, he plays outside, he plays slot, he plays off, he plays press. He's a solid corner.
Hit. White has been a full-time starter ever since stepping onto the field in Buffalo.
Tre'Davious White, Trey with a huge interception.
In the past 2 seasons, however, he's taken his game up a notch to become one of the best covered corners in the league, and a big reason why the Bills look like long-term contenders in the AFC.
With the 28th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Taco Charlton, defensive end, Michigan.
He's got length, power, movement skills, 1-year starter, which makes me question where he was before that with all this length and talent.
Miss. Charlton never became the pass rusher the Cowboys were seeking and was cut by the team after 2 seasons. He's struggled to stick anywhere since then, lasting 1 year in Miami before playing 7 games as a backup with the Chiefs in 2020.
With the 29th pick, the Cleveland Browns select David Njoku.
There you go.
Tight end, Miami.
He's got incredible talent, and he doesn't even know yet how good he can be.
Meh. It appeared Njoku was ready to break out after a big second season.
Boy, this is really nice. Watch him snatch it.
But an injury forced him to miss most of the 2019 campaign. When he returned for 2020, he found himself behind free agent pickup Austin Hooper in the pecking order. The talent is there, the opportunity could be lacking in Cleveland.
With the 30th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select T.J. Watt, linebacker, Wisconsin.
Hit! When your brother is J.J. Watt, the expectations will always be high. And somehow, the younger Watt may have surpassed them. After a solid rookie season, TJ has posted 13 or more sacks for 3 straight years and narrowly missed dethroning Aaron Donald as the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year in 2020.
The San Francisco 49ers select Rueben Foster, linebacker, Alabama.
And I don't say this very lightly, but he reminds me of Luke Kuechly when I watch tape. He had a tough childhood, but he's an immediate impact player.
Miss. Foster's career has been more notable for his off-field transgressions than anything he's done between the lines. After multiple suspensions, he was released by the Niners and picked up by Washington, where injuries have prevented him from ever playing a snap. Options for him to continue his career will likely be severely limited.
With the 32nd pick, the New Orleans Saints select Ryan Ramczyk, tackle, Wisconsin.
So he can step in day one, play right tackle. He's a technician, even though he's only a 1-year starter at Wisconsin. He faced big-time opposition.
Hit. The Saints' second pick in the first round has arguably been one of the league's most underrated players at his position and a big cog in New Orleans' offensive success over the past 4 seasons.